And that's why we will transition right over to Mike Giardi, Boston Sports Journal. Mike Giardi, first question off the bat. I'll let you answer what I've been asking the listeners. Was this a good week or a bad week for the New England Patriots?
I don't think we know the answer to that yet.
You suck. I've hyped you up. Whoa. I've hyped your ass up for an hour and a half, and you go, I don't know. I don't think we know. I need an answer, yes or no.
Mike, I said the same thing, and he gave me the business at 2:05.
Jackwagons. So. We're in opinionating.
Aggregate that, bitches.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Was it a good week or a bad week?
Yes.
No.
It's a good week.
Oh, okay. It was a good week. Why? Do tell.
Yeah.
This is a good chat.
It was a good week because I don't think they could have gone forward with Jerod Mayo and his coaching staff, and they have an opportunity to right the wrong of last year, which was hiring someone who wasn't ready to be in the job yet. And now why I hedged and was berated by you so wrongly.
I'm host one today, so I can do whatever the hell I want. It's gone to my head, and I get a big head.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it clearly has. And that means you're lopsided now because you got a freaking huge dome.
Don't be mean.
It's a large. It's a significant cranium.
My mom says that's where I keep my big brain.
Oh, your mother is a pathological liar.
See, but the problem is, don't screw this up.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Don't. You have two candidates that you interviewed for real. Not Pep Hamilton, not Byron Leftwich. You interviewed Mike Vrabel in person. That's your first choice. You interviewed Ben Johnson via Zoom today. That's your fallback choice. If those two guys one of those two guys doesn't end up as your head coach and you've gone to a fallback to the fallback plan, then you screwed it up again, at least on paper.
Yes. So let me ask you this then. Are you in the realm of guests we've had previously? Yes, we cheat on you a little bit. Schefter, Tom Curran. Everybody says it's going to be Vrabel. It's fait accompli.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be Vrabel.
Yep.
Long pause.
He was trying to add drama when we all know there's really not a lot of drama behind the whole
Is
scenario,
there any?
yes?
Is there any room for drama? Could it go south, or do you just? It's a bag job. They'll drag their feet for a little bit and announce it. I don't know what, Monday.
So I give you two. I give you two reasons why it doesn't happen. If it doesn't happen, and the first is money. And I was on this show a week ago, and I mentioned $15 to $20 million, and no one had been talking about that. And now all of a sudden there's some buzz like, are they willing to pay Mike what he's worth? And you may say, oh, well, I mean, look, Sean McVay makes $15 million. He won a Super Bowl. Well, Sean McVay's not available right now. Sean McVay has a job. Mike Vrabel is the best candidate out there, or he and Ben are 1A and 1B. And so when you're out there and you're available, you can command a higher price. Let's talk Jaylen Brown. Is he you think he's the best player in basketball, Andy?
Yeah.
But he's not the best player in basketball, but he got paid like he was the best player in basketball because it was his turn. He was up, and that's what they had to do. So Mike Vrabel's in a spot where, he has a lot of clout because this isn't the only place. New England's not the only place that wants to hire Mike Vrabel. So they're going to have to actually do this for real and pay the man what he's worth. And I would say the other thing that would concern me, or would be, I think, a reason why if it doesn't happen, is what's the power structure? Is he okay with Elliott Wolf, or are you forcing Elliott Wolf and Alonzo Highsmith on him? And does he say, no, I just went through this in Tennessee. I lost my job to a GM who lost his job a year later. They fired the wrong guy, right? So am I going to go in there again? And you see some of the comments that, I don't know, could seem like they're working their way back towards Elliott Wolf about what the coaching staff did. Is he going to be loyal to me, or is he not? I don't know.
Yeah, see, Mike, and we're speaking with Mike Giardi from Boston Sports Journal here on WEEI Afternoons. I had wondered quite a bit, is there any way that Elliott Wolf and the executive infrastructure that was behind a bad free agent class and possibly one of the worst drafts of all time, franchise history or whatever, could be something that impedes Mike Vrabel or anyone from wanting to come here? No, they're going to hold a certain degree of power. And that person would probably just in turn say, so you want to pay me less and I have to deal with these guys? Get out of here with that. Yeah,
I think that could absolutely be a thing that becomes a sticking point. again, what do the prospective candidates, and they already floated out there, Ben Johnson and Elliot Wolf have this relationship.
Yep.
I still think this is all coming back to trying to squeeze Mike a little bit to get his price tag to come down so it's something more palatable. But to me, I think it's pretty clear that unless whoever your choice is here, or the choice is, say, I don't want Elliot Wolf in the building, Elliot Wolf's going to be in the building because Robert and Jonathan Kraft like working with Elliot Wolf. And they clearly, at the end, certainly did not enjoy working with Belichick, who was in charge of everything. So I think they like the idea that they have what you would consider your own person in the front office.
Not to pump your tires, so to speak, but I know you covered the Titans for a while as part of your sort of NFL Network work, and this week have written some things kind of based on sources and information that you have out of Tennessee. Can you enlighten us, A, on Mike Vrabel maybe not being the hardo a-hole that everybody assumes he is, and then B, do you have any idea if he gets the job, who he might bring here in terms of helping him set the culture?
Yeah, it's very interesting. And remember last year in the coaching cycle, Diana Rossini had the report where an unnamed GM said, he's really intimidating, and that might influence some people. And that, as Diana later kind of clarified, that's not why he didn't get hired, but it's certainly, there's that element of it. And Mike's 6'4", 250 pounds, right? He's got the dip in his lower lip at all times. Yep. He is an intimidating dude. He was a hell of a football player. We all saw it, right? And he doesn't suffer fools lightly. So, get ready for some high quality exchanges and press conferences if he's hired here, because he doesn't. If it's a bad question, he tells you it's a bad question, or if he thinks it's a bad question. So there's that part of it. But I'm telling you, and look, you're always going to find a guy here or a guy there that didn't like playing for him, but almost to a man. And this is when I was covering it. Never mind now what I've heard in the aftermath is he gives a crap about his players. And so, yes, he pushes them hard, absolutely pushes them hard. He pushes them hard mentally in the film room, trying to find every edge. But there is this relationship that he has with them. And, I talked to Ben Jones, who's the center on those teams for 5 years and a really good football player, good friends, by the way, with David Andrews. And he was talking about, look, Mike would say to us all the time, look, your career, I know what it's like. I mean, he had a 15-year career, but that's not normal. So I know what it's like, and so I want you to make the most money you possibly can, and whether that's with us or with somebody else. So we're trying to maximize who you are and what your value is so you can go get paid, because it's a good chance when you're done, you're never going to make the same kind of money that you are right now. So I think the players all appreciated that. I think that they appreciated the fact that he tried to work with them, situations off the field, family stuff, whatever. He would go out of his way to try to work around that so that you could do what you needed to do, but we still got what we needed from you during the course of the week. As for your second part of the question, in terms of coaching staff, so Shane Bowen was his DC for 3 years in Tennessee. Bowen's now the DC in New York with the Giants. They obviously did not have a good year. John Mara, the owner, was like, I'm sick of watching teams go up and down the field on us. So maybe Shane Bowen becomes the fall guy there in the sense that, they didn't fire Brian Dable. But those guys go way back. He was actually for 3 years the DC, but he called plays a fourth year. He just didn't have the title, sort of an old Belichick move right there. So he would be someone certainly to keep an eye on. Terrell Williams, who is the run game coordinator and defensive line coach with the Lions, is another. The only problem there is Aaron Glenn's probably getting a job, so I wonder if he just slides right up. But he and Williams worked together for a number of years in Tennessee. Nothing but great things to say about him. I think your offensive coordinator is Josh McDaniels. If it's Mike Vrabel, I think it's Josh McDaniels. And I've wrapped my head around that more. I think maybe initially I kind of balked at it because I was like, we've done this before. We've done it a couple times. But then when you start to go over, his background, and at least as an offensive coordinator, and the number of quarterbacks that he prepped and got ready and got to play well, I'd say, that's your most valuable asset. I think I probably trust him maybe more than any other name that you could throw out there to coach that guy up.
Mike, the one issue though, and obviously Ben Johnson would represent a page one rewrite, a fresh slate, a whole new approach to things. Whereas it feels like the Kraft organization loves the comfort and the security they get in working with people that they know and that they trust. And they do need, I should say, an adult in the room down there to clean the mess up that they made. But there is a bit of a damned if they do, damned if they don't with Vrabel, as in like this will be great. He'll come in, he'll fix things, he'll try to restore some respect and some defiance and some power and prominence to our once great program. But then people are going to say, yeah, this is just another retread. Incorrectly, they'll say it's a Belichick coaching tree hire, and so I think it's going to be Vrabel too. But you know what I mean? Like it's going to be one way or another. They can't succeed with it. It feels.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely part of that. I would say a couple things. I think Mike has taken a very this isn't the Mike McCarthy approach where he told everybody I went to PFF and I studied analytics and all this stuff. No, Mike went and worked, with the Browns, who are probably as most forward-facing analytics team, and he worked with the front office. He was part of their draft process. He did player profiles, as you saw in the Athletic piece, I think, that came out about a week or so ago. Coached the tight ends. He ended up moving to the offensive line room. Like, one of the things about the guy you just had in the building for the last year, despite being a former player and an all-pro player, a Pro Bowl player, is that he didn't get as dirty. He didn't get as the defense is struggling. Where are you to help that? Mike's capable of not only helping on that side of the ball, but also seeing things on the other side of the ball as well. I also, look, obviously the last 2 years in Tennessee weren't great, but now you go back and look at it and go, well, how did it go the year after they fired him? And then go look at some of the games that he was coaching with no talent, or even the year that they had the number one overall seed where they used 91 players, which is a league record because of all the injuries they suffered, and yet they still ended up with the number one seed. And I know they flamed out in the first round of the playoffs or the divisional round of the playoffs, but he's a really good coach. I think he doesn't get enough credit for that because I think people, to your point, are just looking at it like, oh, you're sticking with what they know. And I think he's better than what he's getting credit for in that regard.
Mike, before we let you go, I have a simple question that I want a quick answer to. I don't need a long explanation, just very simply. When April arrives, who will be making the final decision on the number 4 overall pick?
Elliot Wolf.
Elliot Wolf. That's a great answer. Thank you, Michael Giardi, Boston Sports Journal.